It's no secret that Ozempic can lead to rapid weight loss. No need for grueling workouts, starvation diets, or meticulous calorie counting. Just one injection, and the fat seems to melt away. But according to Dr. Jason Fung, author of The Obesity Code, Ozempic is a waste of time once you understand how it works. He argues you can achieve the same results naturally.
The lesson it's teaching you about weight loss is that it's not about controlling the calories, because the Ozempic doesn't burn any calories. It's about controlling your hunger. It's about that one level deeper. Why are you taking so many calories? So if you simply reduce the hunger, you're going to naturally eat fewer calories, which is going to cause weight loss. And that's what this Ozempic does. It really reduces your appetite to very low level.
Ozempic essentially proves that excess weight isn't just about how many calories you consume or burn at the gym. It's a hormonal issue. And if you want to shed those extra pounds, you need to learn how to take control of your hormones.
Body fat that we carry is regulated much like a thermostat. That is, when the amount of body fat goes too high, then our body actually secretes hormones to bring it back down to normal. It's really not based on calories, it's based on hormones, such as insulin, which is what we talked about in my book, The Obesity Code. Now, insulin is a hormone that raises that body fat thermostat so that you carry more body fat. But there are also hormones that bring it back down, and the incretins are one of those groups of hormones, of which there's several, but the main ones are GLP-1 and GIP. The amount of body fat we carry is tightly regulated. We don't want too little because then we wouldn't have any stores of calories, and we don't want too much because then that's going to make us slower. It's going to be harder to catch food. It's going to be harder to run away from predators and so on. So the incretins have several important jobs. One is to tell us when to stop eating by making us full. The second big job is to tell us when we should eat again by keeping us full. So incretins tell us to stop eating and when to start eating again.
Again, the primary function of Ozempic is to mimic the hormone GLP-1. Once in the body, it replicates the key actions of incretin. It suppresses appetite, slows gastric emptying so you stay full longer, and boosts insulin sensitivity, prompting the body to burn fat. Surprisingly, your body can achieve all of this naturally with the right foods. No injections required. According to Dr. Jason Fung, these foods include dietary fats, particularly monounsaturated fats found in olive oil and avocados. Unlike carbohydrates, they don't spike insulin levels. Instead, they help activate the body's fat-burning mode, signaling that there's no need to store fat in anticipation of starvation.
Several studies have shown, for example this one, that if you take carbohydrates as opposed to dietary fat, then the increase in the incretins is much lower. In this study, for example, they looked at soup and they paired it either with 50 grams of carbohydrates or butter or olive oil, and they measured how high the GLP-1 spiked afterwards, and they also looked at GIP. But you can see that both types of dietary fat really raise the incretins much higher, the GLP-1. A very similar study in 2007 showed that if you replace carbohydrates with fat, you get the same expected decrease in insulin, which is good because insulin drives the storage of fat, but you also get this higher level of GLP-1.
Protein-rich foods can produce effects similar to Ozempic. In fact, protein is chemically more powerful than fat because it's more nourishing. When protein reaches the stomach, it's broken down into amino acids. These amino acids then trigger L cells in the small intestine to release two key hormones, the well-known GLP-1 and peptide YY, which slows intestinal motility and helps you feel full for longer. Many nutrition experts highlight eggs as an ideal protein source, as they contain all 9 essential amino acids in high concentrations. However, Dr. Jason Fung suggests that dairy products may be even more effective when it comes to fat burning.
This study in 2006 looked at the effect of a 30% protein diet versus a 10% protein diet, which conforms to the recommended daily allowance or RDA guidelines. So it's not a low protein diet, it's an adequate protein diet. But you can see that the lower protein diet led to greater hunger, and this may be related to the GLP effect. The higher protein leads to higher GLP, which leads to less hunger, because that's the effect. That's a satiety hormone. And different types of proteins may have different GLP effects as well. So branched chain amino acids, such as found in dairy, may actually have a higher GLP effect. So that's why eating more of those may be very beneficial.
Most people skip fiber, and that's their biggest mistake. Fiber delivers a double punch. Not only does it stimulate the production of GLP-1, but it also keeps you feeling full for much longer because it takes more time to digest.
Fiber reaches the colon, and there it gets fermented by the gut microbiome to short-chain fatty acids, or SCFA, and these are things like acetate butyrate propionate. And these interact with free fatty acid receptors 2 and 3 to boost GLP secretion. So again, if you eat more fiber, you're getting a bit of a double whammy effect. That is, the fiber is going to be bulkier. So therefore, it's going to increase those stretch receptors in the stomach. It's harder for the fiber to go through. It doesn't go through as quickly, for example, as white flour, which is going to go directly through the small intestines, directly into the bloodstream, shoot up that glucose. The fiber is bigger, it's bulkier, it's harder to move physically, so it's going to slow things right down, and then it's going to increase satiety by the time it gets to the colon.
By the time it gets to the colon, cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, are packed with fiber. Steam them with a drizzle of olive oil, and you get a powerful combo of fiber and monounsaturated fats, perfect for accelerating weight loss. In addition to the usual food groups, Dr. Fung recommends incorporating bitter fruits and vegetables, such as bitter melon or bitter gourd. While these foods offer little nutritional value on their own, their bitter compounds activate taste receptors that stimulate the production of GLP-1.
Only a profound blood glucose lowering effect, but also significantly raises GLP, which may be responsible for this anti-glycemic effect. And of course, that's exactly how Ozempic works for the treatment of type 2 diabetes as well, and the bitter foods may be doing the same thing.
The latest weapon in the fight against excess weight, one that closely mimics the effects of Ozempic, is curcumin. Long celebrated by the medical community as one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories, curcumin is now also recognized for its ability to suppress appetite, lower blood glucose levels, and stimulate the production of GLP-1.
Spice also has a very significant GLP effect. So because it increases GLP, it has a natural effect to decrease satiety, and therefore the glycemic index tends to be lower, and that may be a real benefit.
It's important to understand that Ozempic is first and foremost a synthetic drug, and like most medications, it comes with potential side effects. In contrast, the natural approach to weight loss may take a bit more time and discipline, but it's completely safe and free from harmful side effects. Start by adding these foods to your diet and experience the results for yourself.